So Montana becomes the very first state in the U.S. to ban TikTok completely. Will it hold? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Montana becoming the first state in the U.S. of A. to completely ban TikTok. Now, there's been other states that have banned TikTok on their state government level, meaning you cannot be a state government employee and have TikTok on your phone. I think they may have done that in the federal government as well. If that's wrong, let me know in the comments. I know there have been bans like that, but Montana is saying you can't have TikTok at all. So whether you be a state employee, whether you be a regular normie at the crib, a 13-year-old doing all these dances and whatnot, you cannot have TikTok on your device. Now, it's set to go into effect next year. I think it's January 1st, 2024. But of course, it's going to be met with an army of lawyers, a lot of court action. The start date of the ban may get pushed back just due to court action. This is going to be a really big thing. I think what you have here is the U.S. versus China and kind of a proxy war on a small level, meaning the U.S. is competing with China in a lot of different ways, from intellectual property to information dissemination. It's a lot of different ways we're trying to compete with China. They'll tell you, when I say they, I mean the government will tell you it's about Russia, Ukraine, all this, that, and the third. But really, China is a big threat in a variety of ways. I think the fear is if TikTok is able to become the dominant social media platform for the young people, especially the Gen Zers, that generation, then China can pretty much control them with whatever they want on the platform. And it also X's out U.S. companies. So China will have a little bit too much control over the U.S. They control Gen Z with TikTok. They control us by buying up farmland, buying up food companies. So this is kind of a proxy war or maybe a Cold War. I'm not sure what to call this, what's happening between us and China, but it's definitely a problem. And before I go any further, let's watch the news clip about it. If you want to see it in full, you know where it is in the box. IG, link in the bio. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Montana's governor just signed the country's first law completely banning TikTok. It goes further than any other state's moves to ban that social media app. The ban is expected to face some legal challenges, potentially determining the fate of the app in the country. Now, in a statement, TikTok says the governor signed a bill that is, quote, infringing on First Amendment rights by unlawfully banning TikTok. It goes on to say people in Montana can continue to use the app to express themselves. We want to bring in NBC legal analyst Danny Savallo. Danny, what are the ins and the outs, I should say, of this ban? How can people still use this app in Montana if it's banned?
Let's pause for a minute right here. TikTok talking about the U.S. and the Constitution is pretty rich because TikTok is a Chinese company and TikTok itself is banned in China. Let's be clear. TikTok itself is a Chinese company and it's banned in China. China has their own version of TikTok called Douyin. Douyin is not TikTok. It's the same as far as the inner workings of it, the way that, you have the short videos. All the technology is the exact same, but the content is not the same. You're going to see ridiculous dances and kind of degenerate content on TikTok more than you would ever see it on Douyin. Okay, they understand the power of social media in China. They understand how it influences children. They'll feed your children garbage, but they'll feed their children uplifting and positive videos, academic achievements, math problems. But you're going to get dances and other kind of nonsense. Let's keep on going here.
Well, apparently it doesn't criminalize actual users' conduct. It criminalizes the sale. So it targets the app sellers. That might be the App Store, or that might be TikTok itself. And that would make sense from Montana's perspective. Far better to go after a deep pocket like TikTok than go after individual users who are probably 18, 19 years old, and who knows if they have any assets or whether they're worth prosecuting. So probably a smart strategy if that's what the ban does, but it leaves itself open to a number of different challenges. Most notably the First Amendment and something called the Dormant Commerce Clause. Basically, an individual state can't unnecessarily or unduly burden interstate commerce. But what exactly that means is a little hazy, and it's moved a lot over the years. Even in the last decade or so, it's been redefined. And then perhaps most importantly is that traditionally the Commerce Clause dealt with things like widgets, tangible items that are sold in a particular state.
Let's pause right here. A lot of the laws that are on the books right now are completely out of date. Very much so out of date. They're not in tune with what's happening right now in 2023. I mean, again, you have lawmakers that should be doing their job, right, making laws, but a lot of them are kind of asleep behind the wheel, and a lot of them are 1,000 years old, so they don't even understand what's going on. How are you going to have lawmakers introduce legislation that successfully regulates the big tech industry when a lot of them were alive before the first computer ever debuted on the shelves of North America?
It's a totally different thing with this modern use of the internet and apps like this, because where is it sold? Where is it used? Where is the application? Where is the jurisdiction for this application? A lot of complicated issues. So you can expect there will be challenges, and soon.
Yeah, a reminder, the government is concerned that anything you do on TikTok might be fed to...
You know what I'm saying? See on TikTok, you don't even know what it is. That's what I'm talking about. That's the exact point. You just proved it right there.
Chinese intelligence and the Chinese military. But if you live in Montana, under this application of the law, the governor can tell you what you can and can't have on your phone, even if you put it on your phone in a different state. How in the world are they ever going to enforce this?
That's a good point.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you raised the issue. When we live in a global community, sorry, I'm using my phone. There I am. I'm back. When we live in a global community,
hey,
like
the feds listening, ain't they? Feds listening, like, hey man, better be careful now. Giving you a warning. And I'm going to pause right there. That's a great time to pause, because the United States government has a lot of control over what you do. They can easily get into your phone and see what's going on. Well, I don't want to say easily. Remember, there was a case a few years back where I think it might have been a murder case, and then the police, or it might have been the feds, were trying to access somebody's phone, and they requested Apple for the key to encryption to get into the phone. Apple said, no, we're not going to do that. They wanted a backdoor way for law enforcement to get in. But see, Apple understands how important encryption is to keep phones secure. And if there was some kind of backdoor, some kind of key to get in it, it'd be exploited. And then that would defeat the purpose of encryption altogether. So yeah, they did not cave into what the government wanted. And if the government could have gotten it, then you would most certainly have no encryption on your iPhone at all. They would have access to everything. But beyond things that are encrypted, they can get into it and see what's going on. They can read text messages. They can look at your pictures, look at your email. They can do all of that stuff. But they're trying to tell you that it's about TikTok doing that exact same thing. What it's really about is the content that's on TikTok. You see, China can control it, so they can manipulate children that are on TikTok to behave a certain way through the content that the children are being able to see through the algorithm. That's the whole thing. But see, now if they talk about that part, then they may have to admit they do the same thing over here. A lot of the content is kind of shocking and upsetting to get people to keep coming back to fight all the time. That is part of what drives engagement. See, now they got to talk about that part, and they're not ready to open that can of worms quite yet, but I digress.
Like this, the internet it asks a difficult question. Where is some kind of conduct actually happening? If you're looking at your phone, but you downloaded it in Montana, but you're looking at it, say, in California, is the conduct happening, or did it happen in Montana? So those are all thorny issues that we all have to deal with in the modern internet age. And this law that seeks to criminalize this kind of conduct or punish it is going to be subjected to a number of different challenges, one of which is going to be jurisdictional and where does the conduct actually happen?
And who would ever police this? It seems awfully challenging and difficult. Danny, thank you very much.
So that's the video right there. Very interesting. TikTok becomes the very first state in the U.S. of A. Well, not TikTok. Montana becomes the very first state in the U.S. of A. to ban TikTok from all devices. So not just government devices, not just, state high-ranking officials, everybody, regular normies, Papa, Meemaw, your little cousin and them 13-year-olds doing dance moves, all of it, everybody. I don't think they can actually enforce this. What they may try to do is have a regional thing that Apple App Store and Google Play would enforce. So if you're accessing the App Store, for example, in Montana, they can geolocate you and see that you're in Montana and not allow you to access certain apps. That'd be kind of how it works, if I'm not mistaken. But if you do a VPN and access the App Store that way, you could be in a different state just by that, even though you're still be in Montana. So the VPN would trick the store into thinking that you're somewhere else, download it like that. And if it's on your phone that way, then what's going to happen? Are they going to have door-to-door checks to see if the app's on your phone? And again, if you got an iPhone or something like that, they can't break into your phone. I mean, I'm not sure how they're really going to enforce it. I understand the logic behind it, but I think the genie's out of the bottle. This is part of the reason why, as I close, your Facebook and your YouTube, Instagram, they have their own version of short videos, because they understand, they know how addictive TikTok is, so they want to have their own version of that. So TikTok, they're not the only game in town. You can have that same experience over there. And then, of course, if TikTok gets banned successfully in the U.S., which is probably not going to happen, if it gets banned successfully, then those users will come over to there and get the same experience. How are they going to do it? Like I said, I don't know. Are they going to do it? I seriously doubt it, because of how difficult it is and how big of a fight it would be from not only the lawyers, but also regular normies who want to keep their TikTok on their phone. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about TikTok being banned completely off of devices in the state of Montana? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I want to see all the lawyer action, and I want it to be like the OJ trial. I want it to be cameras in the courtroom. I want to hear everything that's said from each side of the argument. I want to hear from TikTok. I want to hear them explain why TikTok is banned in China, but it shouldn't be banned here in the U.S. I want to hear that reasoning from them. And I also want to hear from the U.S. why we're going to ban TikTok for spying and whatnot, but they spy on us all the time, meaning the federales here in the U.S. of A. Let's hear both sides of their argument in court. Are we going to hear that? I doubt it, but whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.